All right, let me start this out. Viewer discretion advised. This video discusses sexual harassment involving an 18-year-old. With parents, headphones on if kids are nearby. This is Truth Recon, and I'm Agent D. Baker. And to say I'm furious is an understatement for sure. Cordova, Alabama, which is located inside the infamous Walker County, Alabama. Your police chief, or well, now thankfully, previous police chief, Jason Hare, is out after the nicest way I can think to put it, disgusting, predatory act caught on video. I watched it, and I can't even repeat what came through my mind. Here's what the video shows. And if you have not seen the video, go to Secrets True Crime Podcast Facebook page, and they have posted it there. So you can go watch the video for yourself there. But I'm going to warn you, if you're a good person, a good, strong man, it's going to trigger you. I promise you that. So here's what the video shows. An 18-year-old female employee sitting in a chair. Hare walks up behind her or beside her, stands over her like he owns the room, grabs the top of her head and tries to pull it toward him. She immediately jerks away. He then leans down right in her face, intimidating, towering, and then grabs her head again and moves it back and forth multiple times, mimicking, you can use your imagination. She then pulls away again. You can tell she is so uncomfortable. I mean, you can feel it just watching the video. Any sane adult will be able to tell how uncomfortable that poor girl is. Jason Hare is 49 years old. And again, don't forget, we're talking about an 18-year-old female employee. He's been in law enforcement quite a long time. And don't tell me, don't come at me with, he didn't realize what he was doing. He was just playing around. Let me tell you something. If you think that's playing around, you do that to the wrong person's daughter, and you'll find out it's not playing around. There's nothing playing around about that. Do not come at me with that mess. At that age, with that tenure, you know exactly what message you're sending when you put your hands on a teenage employee like that. That's not a lapse in judgment. That's entitlement. That's abuse of power. It's predatory. Let me set the timeline. Cordova just hired him in late June. I think June the 23rd of 2025, he was announced as chief. We're only talking about a few months on the job before this garbage. That's how fast rot shows itself when you hand a badge and a title to the wrong person. And this isn't some random nobody parachuted from nowhere. Before Cordova made him chief, he had been a deputy and school resource officer at none other than the Walker County Sheriff's Office. So, yes, this man has worn a badge around kids inside schools. And high schools are full of 18-year-old. Let that sink in. Now, how did this blow up? Reports started circulating yesterday that he was out of a job. A bunch of people posted it yesterday. I saw it, and I even commented on one of them, on one of the posts. I said, I don't know the man. However, it wouldn't surprise me, because the reports yesterday that he was let go due to sexual harassment. And so I said, I don't know the man, but if it's true, it wouldn't surprise me, considering he came from Walker County Sheriff's Office, and we know the culture there. But I said, however, I will not accuse him of anything unless I hear what evidence there is. You know, is there evidence? Whatever. Well, today, we now see the evidence, and it is clear as can be. But there's a big difference in being accused of something like that and there actually being evidence that you did it. Well, he did it. Now, the city of Cordova is still pretty quiet on this, as far as exactly whether they accepted a resignation or terminated him for cause. That I have found, I don't know which one it is. But the city of Cordova needs to clarify which one it is, if they haven't yet. But they need to step up and say it in plain English. Until then, the video definitely speaks for itself. Now, here's the bigger truth. This is not a one-off. The culture in and around Walker County law enforcement has been called out for years. Chaos, good old boy favoritism, and yes, sexual harassment complaints swept under the rug. I've been told by numerous people and literally previous employees of the Walker County Sheriff's Office of how bad the culture is at that agency and how rampant sexual harassment is there and how it's part of everyday work life there. It's just accepted. It's completely normal. I've heard it from too many sources to ignore it. And this was before this story came out. So when you see a 49-year-old chief putting his hands on an 18-year-old staffer like she's a prop on camera, you're not looking at a first offense. You're looking at a man who is comfortable crossing boundaries, comfortable weaponizing his position, and comfortable humiliating a kid who just is trying to work and do her job. A freaking 18-year-old kid. To the people in power that hired him, who pushed his name forward, who signed off on the background, on the references, on the vetting. Did you ever actually pick up the freaking phone and ask someone who actually worked for him or worked with him what his behavior was like? Or did you just want a friendly face for the press release? Because you got your press release in June and all these people commenting under, oh, great hire. Oh, he's a great man. He had a lot of people fooled, didn't he? Unfortunately, he probably didn't have many people fooled. A lot of people he worked with just didn't care and don't see it as a big deal because they're part of it too. To the city of Cordova, mayor, council, where is the public statement? Where is the stance for real? Where is the assurance that this young woman has support, legal resources, paid leave if she needs it, and access to an outside investigator who doesn't report to the same people who hired him? Where's the referral to the Alabama Attorney General or an outside agency for a clean, conflict-free look? Because what I saw in that video is definitely criminal. We're not just talking about workplace harassment. It was criminal for a 49-year-old man to do that to an 18-year-old girl. Completely sickening. To the Walker County Sheriff's Office, every time one of yours gets caught like this, you say, it's just one bad apple. No. Grown men do not wake up at 49 years old and suddenly decide to become a worthless piece of crap human being. That doesn't happen. That's a pattern that's been tolerated, laughed off, or protected somewhere along the line. Own it. Fix it. Culture is what you allow. To the victim, you matter. You did absolutely nothing wrong. You did everything right. You pulled away. You tried to create space in a room where the chief made you unsafe. If you don't have an attorney, get one immediately. File a complaint with the EEOC. Do not speak to the city without a representative with you, without an attorney or a victim's advocate or something. Do not. I beg you. This is a big deal. The things he did to you. And it's also impossible for me to believe that was the only time that ever happened, or as far as anything like that. He's probably been harassing this poor girl ever since he got there. To anyone else who has been harassed by this man or anyone like him in Walker County law enforcement, document everything: dates, times, witnesses, copies of messages, who you're reported to and when. Email it to yourself, back it up. If you're scared to go to your chain of command, go outside the chain. Go to somebody. There are good investigators and good prosecutors out there that know how to do their job. And to Jason Hare, you are not the victim here. You're a grown man, a sworn officer, a former school resource officer, and until recently, the top cop in Cordova. You put your hands on a teenage employee in a vile, humiliating way. That isn't leadership. That isn't a mistake. That's predatory. You should never hold a position of power for the rest of your life, especially over young women. You're a piece of, well, I would say, you're a piece of shit. That's what you are.